What's going on, everybody?
Hey!
We're here.
Wow.
Wow, okay. So we're...
Go ahead. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, don't
No.
ever give anybody any kind of constructive criticism on our team, because then we're gonna roll with it and make it big. Beep, bop, boop.
Where's all this coming from? Anyway, we are RE Solutions, and we are here this week for our weekly Tidbit Thursday. Today we're going to be talking to Miss Gwen Derry from Old Republic. She's going to be breaking down some seller net sheets for us, so we know exactly how those are. What have you had? A lot of coffee today?
Yes,
I guess. Well, I hope everybody's doing great. Obviously, the weather is warming up in San Antonio, which is a nice thing finally, because I hate the cold. But if you don't know who we are RE Solutions. We are a residential real estate and property management company that loves to educate and help people find solutions for all of your real estate needs. And we all do that by doing this Tidbit Thursday every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. And we do other seminars that we will talk about later on during our announcements and stuff. So we also do regular videos. In fact, today we're going to, no, not today. Never mind. Scratch that. We were supposed to go somewhere for lunch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to Hops and Hounds.
Yeah, but that's not our. Well, I guess we'll videotape that.
We're checking it out.
Highlight for Hops and Hounds today and stuff like that. But we do like to put out information about living, working, and playing in San Antonio, Texas as well. So for those individuals that are planning on moving to San Antonio, you can always check out our YouTube channel and just look at all our videos that we put out there. So anyway, why am I the only one talking now?
Because you do the
intro. You're doing it so well.
So
I do it so well.
So today we are talking to Gwen Derry from Old Republic Title. We are starting off our seller series for the month, and we're talking everything seller. So
Gwen is really important to buyers and sellers. And Old Republic Title, it's a title company. And what that does is they review all the history of the home to make sure that there's no claims on it and that you can legally purchase the home, or that you can legally sell the home.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a huge responsibility and a big chunk of what happens in a real estate transaction.
And so when we talk to owners, the first thing they want to know is,
where's my money?
Yeah. How much is this going to cost me? So we're going to go through a regular seller's basic statement that you get at the end of the transaction, and she's going to explain all the little parts of it so you can get a better understanding of
what you're paying,
why you're paying
that,
Yes.
And then how we can help you figure out what you would net or make from the sale of your home, which is really kind of what it boils down to. What's really important, right?
Are we ready for Gwen?
We're ready for Gwen. Is Gwen ready for us?
Yeah.
For you. Gwen is ready for you.
What's going on, Gwen? How are you doing?
Everybody, how are you doing? I've had just about as much coffee as Pompey had.
Hey, girl.
So, Gwen, tell us a little bit about yourself and Old Republic and how you got into this business and stuff.
Well, I have been in the title industry, except for a short time originating mortgages, since 1983.
Wow.
So I've been around for a couple of minutes, and I got in the business because I could type 105 words per minute at that time. Back then in 1983, everything was manual, nothing was computerized. So those typing skills really came in handy. And it's just a business that I love. I've always loved history, and title history has a lot to do with it. So that's one of the reasons why I've stayed in the industry for so long. I was an escrow officer, a branch manager. Now I do marketing, and I'm still a licensed escrow officer. So I can close transactions. I've got a lot of hats that I wear. But Old Republic Title is a huge national company that's been in business since 1907. They are such an awesome company. And even for it to be a huge company, it really has a family feel. The local management is just awesome. They take really good care of us. And just like you guys, not only do we do our work, we have fun while we're doing it. So that's why we have people wanting to come on board with us, and we very rarely lose anyone because this is a great, great place to be. It really is.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we love to have fun. Obviously, doing this show on a weekly basis and all the other little videos that we do, the most important for us is to educate individuals, right? We're not out there looking for work, but we're out there looking for people to help and educate them. And then if we get business from that, that's great, but you're right. Having fun is the primary thing.
It's just as important as having coffee.
Yes.
And
Gwen, it's fun.
And Gwen, I know the location that I believe you're at, which is off of 1604. How many locations do you have here in San Antonio?
We have 4 closing locations in San Antonio and New Braunfels area, one on I-10, one at Paisanos Parkway. I'm at the one at 1604 and Stone Oak, and we have one in New Braunfels. And our corporate office is off of Campbell's Road, where our San Antonio division manager, HR, and all those things are.
Awesome.
Okay. Cool.
All righty. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about this this statement. Okay. So I know that at the end, when owners close, they get. So I know it's either do you call it an ALTA or ALTA statement or a final statement?
No, because Texas is not an ALTA state.
Okay.
Texas, we do, because we are Texas. We do things differently from everybody else. But what your seller will see at the end of a transaction is generally what we call a CD, or a closing disclosure. Mm-hmm. And that's where we've gotten all of the figures together. We've collected the figures from the buyer's mortgage company if the buyer is getting a loan. We've collected invoices for everything involved in the transaction, and we put it all together. And then we double check the property taxes. We order the payoffs if there's an outstanding lien. So every penny that's involved in this transaction is going to be reflected on that closing disclosure, so that when the seller walks out of closing, they're going to know exactly the dollar amount that they should be expecting.
Okay. So tell us what's on this statement. What can a seller be prepared to see on this?
Okay. Well, a lot of it has to do with the fabulous negotiating you guys do for your sellers. Because now, in the market that we're in now, sellers don't have to pay for some of the things that they normally would have had to pay for. Let's take a title policy, for instance. Mm-hmm. A title policy is something we do, which ensures title to the property. Just as Denise mentioned a little bit earlier, the buyer wants to make sure that they can buy. They're not going to have someone knocking on the door in 2 years asking for money because we missed an owner on the property. So that owner's title policy of insurance normally used to be paid by the seller, but now it's negotiable. It doesn't have to be. So however that's negotiated on the contract, on the 1 to 4 family residential contract, if that's what it is, that's who's going to pay for the title insurance policy. So what you see on the screen now is an estimate that I made up, where there is very little that the seller is going to have to pay on behalf of the buyer. So what we have here is Jonathan and Jennifer Jones, who are selling their property at 112233 Main Street. How original can I be? I don't know.
I'm sure we have a Main Street and that number that matches.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some kind of Jones. They'll be like, hey, that's us.
Exactly. Exactly. So on this seller's preliminary estimated statement, we call it a net sheet in title and real estate lingo, but the document itself is called a seller's preliminary estimated statement. So we're going to take the proposed sales price, and we do this usually when a seller wants to know how much should I expect to receive at closing, and we're going to do this estimate for them. The important word in this is estimate, because things could change. If the sales price changes, if the closing date changes, if something else changes, the numbers will change as well. But let's look at what we have here. We have a sales price in this particular instance of $700,500. So you'll see that that's on the right in green, and it's a credit. So that means that is the total gross amount that's due to the seller. The sales price is $700,500. Now on the left are the debits. Those are costs that the seller needs to pay in this transaction. So document preparation fee for the seller is $125. Now what that is for the release of lien, because in this particular instance, the seller has a mortgage that the seller is going to need to pay off. And that mortgage company that's paid off will send a document to the courthouse, a release, to release of that lien. So we get that prepared and send it to the mortgage company when we pay the loan off. The attorney charges $125 for the preparation of that document. The next item that we have under debits is the loan payoff. That's the amount of money that Mr. and Mrs. Jones still own on their loan on this property. We've got to pay that off because the buyer is going to get their own brand new loan. So that amount is, the payoff is $150,000. The broker's commission in this instance is being split between the listing agent, who is the seller's agent, and the buyer's agent, who is the selling agent. So the commission can be based upon the sales price, a percentage of the sales price, or it could be a flat fee, whatever's negotiated with you and the realtor. So in this particular instance, I used 3 and 3. So the total commission paid to the listing broker is 6%, but they've agreed to share that with the selling broker, the broker who brought them the buyer. So that selling agent gets 3% too. So that's based on the sales price of $700,500. So each of those amounts is 3% of that sales price. So it's $21,015 for each of the realtors companies, realtors brokerages in the transaction. Not necessarily the realtor. The realtor doesn't necessarily walk out with a check for $21,015. They pay it to the brokerage company, and then the brokerage takes it from there. Next, there are the property taxes. This is what we call a tax proration. The seller, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, owned the property from January 1, and we're going to use a closing date of April the 4th. So that means they owe taxes for 2022 from January 1 to April 4th, not through April 4th, but to April 4th. So we took the property taxes that were paid in 2021, because we don't know what this year's taxes are going to be yet. We divided it by 365, multiplied it by the number of days from January 1 to April the 4th, and collected that from the seller, which is the $3,821.92, and we're going to give that to the buyer. So the seller has already paid their share of property taxes right here on this document. Now, the homeowners association dues are just the reverse. You'll notice that that is a credit. It's on the right-hand side in green, because the sellers have paid the homeowners association dues from January 1 through the end of 2022 for the entire year, but they won't own the property after April the 4th. So the buyer owes them money back. So they get a credit. They, being the sellers, get a credit for the part of the year that they will not own the property. And this is homeowners association dues, $519.17. That's how much is due to them or due back to them. So in this particular instance, I did charge the seller the owner's title policy of insurance. So this is a premium amount that's established by the Texas Department of Insurance. It's only paid one time. It's paid at the time of closing. It's not an annually renewable premium. You don't have to pay it every 5 years or anything like that. It's paid at closing. That's it. So the sellers pay for it because that's what's was negotiated in this transaction. The dollar amount is of the premium, $3,997. So because these fees are promulgated by the Texas Department of Insurance, any property in the state of Texas with a sales price of $700,500, the owner's title policy premium is going to be $3,997. It's the same all across the state. So it doesn't matter what county, what title company, nothing. The state establishes the rates for the title insurance policy. So that's the amount that we collect.
So anything under $750,000 is always going to be that amount?
No. Anything that is $700,500 is $3,997.
Okay.
So the amounts are based in, they go in like $100 increments. Or if the sales price was $700,501, the amount of the premium would be a little bit higher. So it's based on, and it's not a percentage. You actually have to have a chart.
Okay.
And if it's over the chart, there's a calculation that you have to do. So it's all based on the sales price. So if the sales price was $700,499, it's going to round up to the $700,500, and it would be $3,997. But everything over that is going to go up incrementally. Below that, it'll go down incrementally.
Okay, so there is a price. So let's say the house is $200,000. Then you go to the another price and then increase it for every so many dollars is how
it's going to go. I would look at, and it's actually in our website too, and in all of our apps. You can look at in the sales price. How much is your sales price? It's $200,000, and it's going to tell you exactly how much the premium is. You don't have to do any calculating at all. Just let the app do it. Or if it was $200,001, you put that into the system and it'll give you what the premium is for that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So it's easy to do because
there's no math on that part.
Yeah. Those are set across the board in Texas.
Yes, across the state of Texas, the same all the way across the state. If the sales price is the same, the premium is the same.
Okay.
Okay, now we have the escrow fee of $450. The escrow fee is a fee that's paid to the title company, which includes pretty much the work that we do. There's so much that goes on at a title company, all of the searching the title to the property and ordering the payoffs and running back and forth from here and there, getting everything together so that when everyone shows up for closing, it looks like we are in nirvana, like everything is perfect and running beautifully while we're running around like crazy people in the background trying to get everything done. So it's $450, and that's a one-time fee too. Everything on here pretty much is we collect it at closing. Of course, the property taxes will be paid in the future, but that's going to be on the buyer side, and we're talking about the seller now. Wire transfer fee is $30. That's how much it costs us to wire transfer, to receive wires, to send wires. So it's just a flat fee for every file we have. The tax certificate, there's a company that we use that certifies the property taxes that they give us. So if they give us tax information and they tell us that the taxes are paid and they end up being due, then we will pay them, and then that company, because they certified it, is going to reimburse us the amount of the property taxes. So we rely upon them to do a deep dive search of the property taxes and make sure the information we're given is correct.
Nice.
A copy fee. Yeah. You got to take it where you can.
Right.
All of the copies. Imagine the amount of paper that is used at a title company. It's just crazy. And I remember back in, seems like it was 1995, we were trying to go paperless. It just seems like it's gotten to be more instead of less paper.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, I'm like, you see how high your stack is? It's because somebody went to court.
Exactly. Pretty much every document is created after there's been a problem, a lawsuit, a claim, or something, and then a new form is signed. And next we have the survey amendment. The survey amendment is something that's also negotiable in the title, in the contract, as to who pays for it. And what that does is to provide additional coverage in the title policy for the buyer. It basically covers them so that if there are any encroachments or any overlapping of improvements, which would be like a neighbor's house a little bit on their property, or their house a little bit on the neighbor's property, if it ended up being an issue that caused a breach of title pretty much, then the title company would cover it. So in this particular, and it's 5% of the title policy premium. So that $3,997, 5% of that for that additional coverage. So it's a really, really good thing to have. In this particular instance, the seller is paying for it because that's what was negotiated, and it didn't have to be that way. The buyer could pay for it. It can be paid by the buyer. A delivery fee, $50, and miscellaneous items. I just added that on there so that you could see that there was room on it to add things that aren't already hard programmed into the system. I added repairs. Let's say that Joe's annual repair shop needed to do a little paint touch-ups or something like that, and his bill was $400. So we're going to collect, and he agreed to wait for closing. He didn't have to have his money at the time he did the work. He sent the bill to the title company, and we're collecting it from the seller of $400. So now what we're going to do at the bottom, where it says due to seller EST period, that's estimated, we added up everything that was in green, subtracted everything that's in black, and then the net proceeds that are due to the seller are $499,852.45. So we take the sales price and the amount that the buyer was reimbursing the seller for the homeowners association dues, and then we subtracted all of the charges, the escrow fee, the commission, the title policy, all of those things. Yeah, those things in black, we subtracted from everything that was a credit, and the difference between those two numbers is the net amount due to the seller. Okay. $499,852.45. So we could wire that money to the seller. We could write them a check, whatever they wanted.
Right.
Awesome.
I was going to say anything in the green is a win.
Absolutely. I wish somebody was sending me a wire for $499.
So I have a question on the property taxes.
Yes.
So you have the property taxes here as, where am I? Right here as $3,821. So the owner's paying that up front, but they may have that money in an escrow in their old mortgage.
That is correct.
And so what happens to that?
When we pay off the loan, and the mortgage company that we pay the loan off to does a final escrow analysis, and they make sure that they are owed no more money, everything left in that escrow account is refunded to the seller. So needless to say, we've got to ask the seller for their forwarding address so we can give it to the mortgage company so they can send them the money.
Right.
So they're going to make sure that there's no shortage in the escrow account, that everything is on the up and up, everything's done, everything's paid. And the sellers have been paying into that escrow account for the future payment of taxes and insurance. And
right.
Now they're done with this particular piece of property. So everything left in that account is refunded to the sellers.
Okay. So they just get another check.
Yeah, another check.
And that's
even more than $499,000.
Yes. And they get excited because we're like, you're going to get another check. And they're like, oh, awesome. Yes.
Exactly.
On the survey, how much are you seeing now surveys are costing for a regular residential plat, not like an acreage, but for your normal, how much are those?
Lot and block. We're seeing them, the prices have gone up. We're seeing them $550, $600, where they used to be. What we're used to seeing is like $350, $400, and the time is just it's I don't know what's going on, but I was talking to someone yesterday who said that someone told some surveyor said, yeah, I can get to this. I'll have it to you in 60 days.
Okay.
Well, who's got a contract for 60 days?
Wow.
They want to close
60
in 30 to 45 days. My gosh. So if your sellers can find their prior survey and there hasn't been any changes to it, use that.
Yeah.
Save a bunch of money and a bunch of heartache.
Exactly.
Speaking of surveys, are there any changes that would be acceptable for
That's a good question.
that they could like add to their survey, and the title company would still say, okay, this works with their T47?
Right. With the T47, the things that won't really cause that much heartburn are things that are not permanent. So if, let's say that the sellers put a storage shed on the ground or on a pallet or something like that, that's easily, they could move that when the surveyor comes. No big deal, or just move it because it's not a permanent structure. But when people start, and maybe extending a patio, that's kind of a case-by-case basis. It's a little bit, maybe. If it's a lot, maybe not. But we would have to look at it and ask our underwriters. But things that are permanent structures, those are the things that cause us to have a brand new survey.
Gotcha.
But it's things like there was a wood fence there, now it's a chain link fence. That's not going to cause us to refuse a survey.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Any questions? Paul?
No, I would love to ask her something so that I can seem really like.
So ask.
But I can't because she did so much of an
Yes, she did,
outstanding
yes.
job explaining
You're scaring me.
every detail on this net sheet that I feel like I could now explain it to
Yes.
an owner. Much,
Yeah.
and that would only be because of you, Gwen. Thank you.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you. I love training. I love training and educating and seeing the light bulb go off in people's eyes. It's just really a joy for me, a treasure. And I think that Over Public Title knows that. So that's why I get to train a lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I enjoy it very much.
I don't know.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I
you-
hooked it up.
You hooked it up?
Yeah, she's gonna be part of our sellers
You're gonna be
seminars.
part of our seller seminar?
Yes, I'll be there.
Set it up.
Okay.
Well,
I
we're
am
hitting.
in town and this side of the dirt, I'll be there.
Seriously,
Awesome.
Okay, so we're getting close to our 30-minute mark. So
Yes.
I'm the timekeeper here, Gwen. I make sure we stay on
I
time.
see.
So,
I see.
so yes.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I mean,
You're
this
welcome.
was I learned some things today that I was like, oh, see, I didn't know that.
No, I get it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Gwen has a lot more information. So when we actually do our seller seminar, please come out. We'll be promoting that some more, and she'll be giving out some more information because she'll have more time.
And then you'll get to meet her in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm a nice person, really.
Yeah. I'm so glad I met you, Gwen. Thank you so much.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too. This has been
Right,
so
Gwen.
much fun.
Yeah. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
We'll do this again. But if not, we'll see you. Well,
In 2
if
weeks?
not, we'll see
Yeah.
you in 2 weeks. We'll
Yeah.
send you some information for the seminar. And that's it, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I know
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, Gwen. Well, you
Okay.
take care. You have a good
Take
day.
care.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want to buy Gwen coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Having both of you guys have coffee at the same seminar.
Yeah,
We-
no. So
All
That could be
right.
fun.
that's funny.
So announcements. What do we have coming up?
So this weekend we're not doing anything. This
Well,
is
actually,
oh yes,
Denise is going
Denise is doing
to...
another webinar for the Homes for Heroes Explained
Mhm.
Saturday morning,
Saturday morning at 9:30.
9:30.
So please be on the
You
lookout for
early
that. That will be
risers.
on our social media. So if you are not on our social media, if you haven't liked or followed us on our Facebook or Instagram or any of that,
Then you need
please
to
make
stop
sure.
hating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hate
You
on
need to
us.
make sure and get on there and follow us. That way we can put out more content, or you can actually view more content and stuff like that. So trying to grow our YouTube channel right now. Right now we're sitting at like 500 people on Facebook, but we only have like 20 people on YouTube. So we need to push out the YouTube channel.
More than one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's because they're all our age, because they're all our family and friends, so they're our age, and they're like, YouTube. Why did we subscribe to YouTube? Because that's how I think. Like, no, I subscribe to YouTube too.
Yeah. It's a separate program. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, Tidbit Thursdays like this one every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. Come and join us next week. We're doing what? Do we know?
1031s and
capital gains taxes.
Capital gains.
We're gonna have hopefully a special guest up there,
maybe,
and make sure that they can fully explain what capital gains are and how to make it work for you.
Yes.
Awesome. And then so I'm not going to go over all the seminars, but we do hold seller seminar, the buyer seminar, landlord 101 seminar, and we also do our veteran business owner workshop. But our next seminar that's coming up is going to be our seller seminar. That one is going to be wrong one right here. This is our seller seminar. Right. We are going to have Gwen at this one as a title company. She with Old Republic. She's going to be talking about just basically what title company does and everything that you need to know about the title. And of course, Denise and Belinda will be talking about the whole selling process and putting your house on the market for sale, and why today is a good day to start. So
today is a good day.
Yeah. So if you want any information, you can always hit us up on our I forgot.
I'm a Messenger.
Yeah, a Messenger. Set us up a note right here, or go to our website, resolutionsxv.com. I thought I had a thing on here, but
we got another comment.
So, we got another comment. Let's see.
Ooh.
She said, "Thank you."
Oh, that's awesome.
Who's that?
That's Gwen.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thanks, Gwen.
And we need to create a thing for the Homes for Heroes Explained, so you can put that on.
Yeah. So, just keep a lookout for a bunch of posts that I obviously going to have to put out on information. So, anyway, thank you for watching. We hope to see you next week.
Yes.
And have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
All right.